Hello, this is Steve from B&O's Leatherworks, and today's project is these cool Indy boots in the tobacco reverse chamois. Now these are in pretty good shape, but the guy wanted to change them around a little bit, so we're going to remove everything. We're going to put a black reverse, well, Alden calls it reverse welt, but we call it split welt. We're going to do a black split welt with a double stitch on there. We're going to do leather midsole. We're going to do a foam build-up, almost like a 3/4 inch on the heel, and also about maybe 3/8 of it on the sole. And then we're going to use the 148 Vibram sole, which is that sole right there. And then just kind of brush them up. Also, we're going to replace the speed hooks with stud brass speed hooks, also the eyelets. And just kind of clean them up and brush them up and get them done. All right, let's get started. All right, these are cool boots. I like them. Now the uppers are oiled suede, right? But don't let that fool you, because it's very durable. All right, there's not much maintenance to these at all. Just brush them up and wear them anywhere you want. Really, it's not a very delicate surface. So definitely, this is on a True Balance last. That's just the shape, the style of the last, basically, is what it's called, True Balance. Now, some customers don't like this commando sole. I don't know, it's not too bad, but I don't really care for it too much, you know. And what Alden does, you see, from this point on, it's foam rubber. Now, I don't know what the idea behind it, but I'm guessing that as you step down, your toes are a little bit more cushiony towards the front to give you comfort. And I've never really looked into that to see if that was the case or not. But the customer says he does a lot of walking, and he wants a little bit of like a cushiony surface sole, you know? That's why we're going to add the foam between the leather sole and the Vibram sole to give it some cushioning as he's walking. So I think that'll look real nice. You see that rubber piece right there? Right there, you see? Kind of overlap it a little bit like that. Not sure if it adds to the comfort, but I know for a fact that this is very common on these soles. The rubber commando always kind of separates because the stitches break, especially at the toe. I mean, it does happen sometimes. It's not that it doesn't happen, but we're going to change that around a bit. This is the reverse welt, is what Alden calls it. We call it split welt in this industry, because it's literally a piece of leather. They slice it, they lift that vertical part up. See that? And they put a stitch on that vertical part, which is it's not a structural stitch. It's just stitched to make it look like it's like a Norwegian stitch. But it's not, it's just basic, it's just a stitch, aesthetic only. So we're going to duplicate that. We're going to do a black leather split welt with the vertical stitch and the black horizontal stitch. Now Alden has this canvas underlayment underneath the cork. The idea is that most of the footbed, most of the production soles, they have gemming like what you see here. This is the gemming right here. It's glued onto the footbed and then stapled onto the uppers, and then the welt comes together and stitched together. So what Alden does, they have a canvas right here, okay? And there's your canvas. It kind of bridges this side to this side together. In case this fails, that canvas will keep the shape of the boot still in place. That's the idea. But rarely I've come across an Alden that the gemming has come loose. Now on Red Wings, oh my God, that's notorious. Iron Rangers, especially, just notorious for the gemming to come loose from the footbed. I don't know why, but it does. But this one is much more sturdier than anything else. So, but we're going to do it the same way. We're going to put some sort of a canvas. I've got a bunch of canvas here. We'll get a piece, cut it out, and then we'll go ahead and stitch the new sole on, new welt on. So you get these areas where the laces rub against the tongue. It gets dark like that. We just kind of scrape that up. To bring that suede nap back. This is a very versatile boot. You can wear it with jeans. You can wear it with khakis. Just about anything. Cool. Now we get to work on the eyelets and the hooks. We're going to remove those, but we got to, as you can see, you don't see the back of the eyelets, right? We're going to unstitch that, get to the back of the eyelets, remove the, I'm sorry, the speed hooks. We're going to remove those and replace them and stitch it back. What's with some of you guys wanting to unsubscribe? Huh? Hey man, it's been a month you haven't uploaded a video. So what? So what? Have you ever thought about that I've got a life? I've got a business to run? I wish I could do videos every day. I would love that. That would be awesome. But listen, be patient, okay? I mean, instead of saying, I'm going to unsubscribe, why don't you say, hey, man, where are you? You know, everything all right? How come you haven't uploaded a video? Just go directly to unsubscribe. Well, I can't help what you're going to do. You're going to unsubscribe. Go ahead and do so. You know, it's okay. You win some, you lose some. This isn't the airport. Don't announce your departure. Just go. Unbelievable. I had 2 videos set up, lined up to upload, and it didn't work. And what are you going to do? I mean, it's part of life. Shit happens. You guys got to have more patience. I mean, I'm a subscriber of some channels, and I would never do a stupid thing like that. I'm subscribed. Ah, subscribe me. Like I care. Well, I care, yeah, but, you know. Yeah, I know the viewership has been down for the past month, but we took July off. We closed the whole month of July to catch up on backlogged work. It was intense. It was a lot of work that I finished, you know. And we took a little bit of time off. We went to California. There was saw some family there, and then we went to Vegas where the convention was. Saw friends and, you know, hung out. And, you know, it was a good trip. And meanwhile, I was trying to upload some videos, and it just didn't work. It just did not work. I didn't forget about you guys. How could I forget about you guys? What's the matter, you? All right, I'll get this video uploaded, and you guys can watch me work. All right, let's continue. the back of the speed hooks. This tool is very cool. It's the eyelet remover. That's it. Look how simple that is. It makes life so much easier. Even the speed hooks works. Let's give it a try. It's a little tricky to do. Look at that. Dang, came out. Cool. So what I usually do on these speed hooks, I put a eyelet in first and then put the speed hook. It gives it, the eyelet gives it a little bit of a, like a washer almost. It makes it a little bit more sturdier to put on, to kind of stay in place. And that was it. That was pretty quick. Cool. These were the backing of the speed hooks. Well, we're going to put new ones on. This is basically a heavy nylon type of fabric that I use to reinforce anything I want to reinforce. I use that. We need 4 of these and 2 and 2. Perfect. Beautiful. This will reinforce the back. Now, I know some of you guys are going to ask where I get this fabric from, but there's not really a specific place, right? I've for many years, we had an upholstery fabric shop in our neighborhood. It's been closed down for a long time now. And basically what I did was I usually go in and find like the remnants rack, right? Because sometimes you're going to have big rolls that people buy, and then, you know, they buy a couple of yards off the roll and half a yard is left over. And now, you know, the company wants to sell those, and they put in a special area where all the shorter, half a yard, quarter yard, whatever the issue is, and then they'll sell it to the public like that. So look for a fabric shop near your place and see if they have, you know, go in and visit, check it out, and see if they have a rack for remnant fabric. Nylon, heavy canvas is what I normally use. Now, since I've got this open, now it is reverse. This is basically the top part of the leather, and that's reversed. So that's why they say reversed, because it's reversed. It's kind of cool. Oiled down. It's very durable leather. How heavy is it? Maybe 4.5 ounce. I don't think it's 5, maybe 4.5 ounce, somewhere around there. But I like these boots. Yeah, they're my favorite boots. You know what I just realized? I've got an Alden Indy shirt on, and I'm working on an Alden Indy boot. You know, no, this is not a paid promotion. I got this when they were having the whatchamacallit, party at the port. They have one every year, and get together where all the Alden Indy enthusiasts get together to kind of, you know, hang out and chit chat and enjoy themselves. All right, let's continue. Speaking of party at the port, this is going to be one of the other videos that I'm going to put up. Okay, this is my boots. Now, this is the reversed also of the leather. I don't know, I kind of like the imperfections in it, the manufacturers stamping, the tannery stamping, square footage of the hide. And this is going to be, we're going to call this the collaboration with Alden Edmonds. This was the boot that I got made when we were at the party at the port, and I'm going to do a little video on this one. Coming soon. I'm waiting for a couple of other components to come in. That way I'll be ready to make the video and I'll upload it. I will. Take it easy. Don't rush me, man. I got a lot of work I got to get done. But I will. I like making videos. Just some people aren't freaking patient. What's wrong with you guys? What's wrong with you? Be patient. Life's too short. Don't worry about if I'm uploading videos every day, every 2 weeks. All right, so next we're going to poke some holes. We're going to put the speed hooks in. We're going to put the eyelets in. We're going to stitch this up, and then we're going to go ahead and stitch the welt on. All right, let's continue. It's not going anywhere. Beautiful. Now we get to stitch it up. Get back to the welt. Feeding's leather dye. Now this job was a little over $800. The 200, about 195 of it was the eyelets, speed hooks. I mean, that's a solid brass material. It's a good material. And just taking the boot apart a little bit to get to the back, a little bit of work. So almost 200 of it was working on the eyelets and the hooks. The rest of it was for the rest of the job. Hey man, that ain't us. You crazy? Why you gotta spend that kind of money on that? You're crazy. I'm out of here. I know. You know, some people are gonna say, you know what? It is what it is, bro. You know, the guy has a vision, and he wants his boots to be exactly what he's imagining, and he can't find it on the market. So he sought me out and said, "Can you do it?" I said, "Of course. Do whatever you want." And that's what the cost is. Now, what I do is not for everybody, and I understand that. It's okay. It's quite all right. No hard feelings, you know. There are other cobblers who will do it probably for cheaper. They don't do it the same way I do it, but they can do it. Not too many people will put the second stitch on the welt, for example. And we'll let this dry, and then we'll stitch it on. Well, we're going to stitch the vertical stitch first, then we're going to hand stitch it onto the boot. All right, let's continue. We are starting to stitch the welt on. Put the canvas in. I mean, it's just red. It could be any color. It doesn't matter. Color doesn't really matter. It can be white, it can be red, it can be pink. I just happen to have some red handy. And I cut a piece and glued it in there. And the trick is going to be when we stitch this all the way around, come on back, we've got the vertical stitch. We've got to hand stitch that area together so it looks like a seamless. Damn it, I almost did 3 sneezes. Excuse me. Seamless seam, where I was at. Some people wrap their fingers to do the welt stitching. I simply put one on my pinky, that's it. Because the way I grab my stitch, I do this here, pull that, and then the other side, wrap it around the handle and pull it. So the only stress is on my pinky here. Doesn't touch in any other fingers. But everybody does it differently. So, oh, side note, boot camp is coming up. Boot camp 2025. It's going to be in Chicago this year. Pablo from DMAR Shoe Repair and I are going to share a booth again like last year. And just thought I'd let you guys know that we'll be there. Now, when is the date? Of course, I don't know when the date is. November, I think? I'll find out. November something. It's in Chicago. You can try, go on stitchdown.com. They should have all the information on there. Stitchdown.com. Or you can go to Instagram, Stitch Down, and see if you get some information from there. But I'll see if I can find exactly what day and where it's going to be exact. Well, it's going to be in Chicago. I know that much. It was in Brooklyn last year, and I was hoping they would do it in Brooklyn again because I had some nice ideas that I was gonna do, but it just didn't work. Just logistically now, I can't do. I wanted to take a couple of my machines there and actually do the repair there. Last year we took, shoes and boots like this, in this condition, where we hand stitched some welts, which was cool, but it would have been cooler if I could take my mini stitcher there, my big Rapid E stitcher, and small sander and a buffer, where we could actually do some repairs. That would have been cool, But logistically now, to do, take all that stuff to Chicago, it's not going to work. But we'll be there. Maybe we'll do the same as what we did last year. We're going to give away a recrafting package, $400. I think Pablo's going to do the same too. People who attend. Now, Stitch Down is giving that away. I'm not giving that away. I just simply offered my services so they can pick a winner from their attendees. Alright, so you guys get the idea, right? And there's the vertical stitch. You guys can see it. Alright, let's continue. Alright, so first we unstitch what's left over all the way to the area that we're going to cut. So here is the top thread right there, okay? It's right past the seam. So we're going to cut this. We're going to scarve the end so it'll kind of be flush when you put it on top of each other. Okay, get rid of that piece. The idea is to make it seamless when it's finished. So test fit that, make sure. Okay, gotta do a little bit more. Okay, I put a little bit of glue. Once it's dried, we'll hammer it together, and then we'll take this thread right here and we'll go ahead and hand stitch through the holes that's already there because you already unstitched it. Stitch it, and then everything should be seamless once it's done. That's how it's done. Now you can do cork from a sheet, and the cork in a few pieces, the putty cork. They all do the same job. I guess this could be considered as hammer time. Hammer time! Well, not really, but... maybe pre-hammer time. Man, this barely fits. This leather piece I had from another pair, so it can barely fit. I think it's fine, it'll be good. All right, so we've got our midsoles on. Now I open a channel right here for the stitches to countersink. That's for in the future when the soles do wear out, they have to remove it. They can sand it without touching the actual thread. So it'll be less work, less costly to redo down the road. Very nice. Now for future repairs, it's not going to be this costly. The reason why we had to do a little bit more, like replacing the welt, was because the original welt was so close to the edge that I couldn't salvage it to put another sole on. Okay, there was no way I was going to be able to restitch it the same way. Now when we put the foam here and we put our soles on top, when the new soles wear down, well, the heel's going to wear out first, so this customer can simply get it repaired anywhere. Just have a heel cut off and replace the back of the heel, and that's it. You should go through maybe depending on the wear pattern, twice heel replacement before you need the whole thing again. It really depends on how much you do walking, how, you know, what your pattern is. So even though with the sole replacement, it's not going to be as expensive down the road, because simply you have to peel it off, put another one on, trim it, and you're done. It's not like every time you have to get the boot repaired, you have to put a new welt on and start fresh. No, it's not like that at all. Looks nice, man. Really nice. Again, not too many people do that double stitching. You know, they don't know how, they don't know how to, or they just don't want to do it. I don't know. Gotta pull this thread from the top, but the thread is so short. I don't know if I can do it. I'll figure something out. I know it looks thick and chunky now, but you know, once we taper it down, put the sole on it, it'll look much, much better. I'm just going to give it a little bit of a heel. Like that. lost my hammer again. How can I do hammer time without my hammer? Hammer time. Backup hammer time. Cool. Nice. I love these boots. Turn out real nice. I mean, I love indies, period. You know, my last indie I got was from my friend Matt in Eldwine in Raleigh, North Carolina. He's basically an Alden retailer. So if you have any Alden needs, look him up. I'll give you the website. Eldwine in Raleigh, North Carolina. All right, welcome back. We are done with another project. I think they turned out pretty cool. I love these boots. There's just a distinctive look to them that I think it just kind of stands out, especially now with these soles on here. I think it turned out phenomenal. The customer's going to be very happy. Now we put the foam midsole in there before we put the sole on. I tapered the toe down a little bit, so you've got about 1/4 of an inch foam, and the front is about 1/8 of an inch. That gives it that rocker motion, so as you're walking, it kind of rolls and it moves you forward. It adds to the comfort. Otherwise, everything else turned out very nice. All right, well, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. Thanks for being patient for a month that I haven't uploaded. I'll try to do more every 2 weeks, roughly. I've got plenty of projects that need to be recorded and uploaded, so I'll do that, I promise, soon. All right, we'll see you guys again on the next project. Take care.